Hi everyone, I'm Monarch of Tetris, and this is a follow-up video to my last video about Woodland Mansions. When I finished that video, I realized I only did about half of the total rooms a mansion can actually have. So I decided to go and find more Woodland Mansions, and hopefully find all the rooms I wanted to renovate. I ended up finding most of them, but there were a few I had to generate using structure blocks, including one of my favorite rooms, which is the fake portal room. So if a room isn't in this video, it's either because it's more of a joke, such like reference room, or an Easter egg room, like the secret spider spawner room, which doesn't make any sense for the villagers to have a spider spawner in the mansion, or it's just like a nothing room, like the multiple rooms that just have wooden columns in them and nothing else. So without further ado, I'll start with the rooms and mansions I actually did find. So first is just a variation on this workroom, pretty simple. I just improved the seating, added some carpets, more flowers, better lighting. Next is a room called the sapling farm, which answers a pretty interesting question, which is how do the pillagers have so much wood? Well, they grow their own saplings in this kind of farm room. So when I entered this room for the first time, it only had one type of sapling, so I just added saplings from different types of trees based on the wood that the pillagers use in their base. So they have a lot of birch, oak, dark oak, so I added those in here. And just added better lighting, expanded the ladders so they went all the way up. That's a pretty interesting room. Next is a room I didn't really know what to do with. I just called this the secret chest. It's not really a room. It's kind of just like a path, like a convoluted path, and at the very end of it, there's a chest. I don't know, I just put some good gear in here, like maybe this is a secret chest and that the the pillagers would store, some of the really important stuff in their gear. I don't know, just kind of a weird structure. Next is another variation on a break room. So this one I just added some more flowers, added some more lighting, expanded the seating a little bit. And this would be quite a nice area for the pillagers to relax and talk while looking at flowers. So this room I just called the extra storage room. So it's just a room you go in, they have these actual dark oak logs. So it previously just had one chest, so I just added like a bunch more chests back here. Realistically, this whole room would probably be lined with chests, but I didn't feel like doing that. So this is just a room where the pillagers store some extra stuff. Not that they really need an extra room for that, because they already have those huge storage rooms. But if they needed more storage, I guess this room could do it. Next is this wool storage room. So this was a pretty interesting room. Makes sense that the pillagers would need somewhere to store all the wool they used. So all I did here was add a lot more colors. So originally just had these blues and this white. So I also added red, gray, black. I think I added this shade of blue as well. So just added more wool in here. The pillagers use a lot of wool in their mansions. Hey bro. So this is a room I called the reading room. I made almost no changes to this one. I really like the design of this room. I just added some extra lighting. So just got chairs here, a big bookshelf on this side, smaller little bookshelves on the corners here, and just seating for the pillagers to read. This is just a really relaxing room, so didn't make any changes to this one really. So next is the first of a few sleeping quarters that I found. So just added a few desks here, made this area into actual beds, kind of military style, because I think the pillagers would sleep like that. Just added a couple more beds on the wall here. Kept the same wool color from the fake beds, so these two nice blue beds here. Next is another sleeping quarters. This one's a little different. I added some flowers in these little slabs in the corners. Desk here, desk here, desk. And pink and purple beds, military style here on the end. So this next room I called the forge. This room was just completely covered in stone. So I just improved a little bit, added some more blocks. So a crafting table, stone cutter, blast furnace, upgrade gear. Just ignore the allays, I didn't feel like killing them. There's a grindstone here, and a couple anvils here, and a cauldron here. So I just improved it, added a couple more functional blocks. So this room is a more enhanced prison than from my first video. So just added some more lighting. Added some actual beds in here, cauldron. They operate these iron doors with these levers. Added some bars so you can see through. Let's ignore the alleys. Added some more beds, cauldron. This one has a desk, 2 beds, cauldron. This one is just a single person cell, just 1 bed. So this next room is kind of interesting. I just called it the chicken room. All it has is just this giant wool statue of a chicken. So I didn't change this too much. I just added these 2 red wool to kind of represent the jowls of the chicken. And just added some lighting. But yeah, the villagers really seem to like their giant wool statues of animals. And this is the first of a few rooms of that. So next is the cat room. This is another room with just a big wool statue of a cat. I kind of like this one. This is pretty cute. I'd like to think that the pillagers would actually have cats as pets. So if they did, I would put some here. Which I think I actually did, but the cats probably just ran away. So this is probably where they would actually hold their cats in the big cat room. Next is this master bedroom room that I found. This is a pretty interesting design. So here, I just put this kind of bigger desk with some flowers, carpet, and then like a big bed. There's not a way to make like a huge bed in Minecraft, so if I could, I would get rid of the white part here, so it's just kind of one big like queen size bed. You can't really do that though. But I really like this room design. I like to imagine that the pillager leader, or maybe like a few leaders, sleep in here. So a very interesting design with this huge bed. Next room is this slightly different prison design. So for this room, I added this big desk here. This prison just has 1 cell, so you just open the door. 3 beds here, cauldron. This is a kind of smaller prison design. So this next room, I didn't really know too much what to do with. I just called it carpenter and water. So you just kind of go in here, and it has this tree growing, and then this little river here. So I just added some buckets and just like a crafting table. So I assume maybe they use this room just for water storage, but if they did do that, it should probably be bigger than just this little river. Also, this mansion was just really interesting. Kind of generated weirdly with all these vines coming through the ceiling, and the outside of it is also really interesting, which I'll show in a bit. Also just generated with a bunch of ice or snow and dirt in the ceiling. And in this part, you can see just a bunch of stone just generated straight through the Woodland mansion. This was a really weird one. And this is the most interesting part. So this is kind of the master bedroom design. But if you break the windows out here, it just laid straight into a cave, which is really interesting. Like, look at this. The mansion is just built directly into a cave. So I'll show you what it looks like from the outside. So the top floor of this mansion is generated almost completely encased inside this snowy mountain, which makes for a really interesting design. And as you can also see, it is generated above a cave as well, so the cobblestone blocks just go way, way down. This is definitely one of the most interesting Woodland Mansion spawns I've seen. It would be a really cool location for a Woodland Mansion base, for sure. So next room is this pumpkin and melon farm, and it's good to see that the pillagers have a better diet than just eating bread all the time. So on the bottom tier of this farm here, they've got a bunch of pumpkins growing. Added a composter here. And you go up the stairs, and they got melons here. And then I added a little fence here with some torches, so an unfortunate pillager doesn't fall off. Added another composter. This is an interesting room. Good to see that pillagers eat well. So now we get to the rooms that I wasn't able to find in the mansions, so I just spawned them using some structure blocks. So this first room I called the ritual room. I didn't really know what to do with this at first. It took me a while to come up with like an idea. So I guess what I came up with is maybe like darker side of the pillagers where they do like blood sacrifices or something. So there's this big stone platform here. They've got seating on the sides. They've got kind of an elevated platform here. They got like a lectern here. I added some, like an ominous banner, some red banners, black banners here. Maybe this was supposed to look like a pillager face. It kind of doesn't really. I wasn't sure what to do with that. But maybe the, you know, a pillager spiritual leader, religious leader or something comes up here, you know, talks behind this lectern. You know, they have like someone here with their head on this block, and then I can let you imagine the rest of what might happen there. But yeah, definitely an interesting room. Next is another one of these extra storage rooms. This one was kind of plain. I didn't really know what to do with it. I just added kind of a flag in the back chest, added these little fence posts here with some torches on them. So next is the famous fake portal room. This might be the most famous Woodland mansion room. A lot of people know about this because they got pranked the first time they ever went into one. I kind of renamed this one to the portal training room. So everyone knows the fake portal room in Woodland mansion. Usually they have the chest here, the 2 TNT. You try to open the chest, it's a trap chest, the TNT blows up. You either get killed in the blast, or you're probably killed by all the silverfish that spawn from the infested stone. So it's pretty funny. It's a good Easter egg, and it makes for a funny moment if you're going through it and you find this room for the first time and you get killed by it. But it doesn't really make much sense for the pillagers to actually have that kind of room in their mansion. Like, why would they try to blow up their own mansion? So what I kind of reinterpreted this as is a room where the pillagers, you know, train their members to go out and find stronghold portal rooms. Because I think the lore implications of this room is pretty interesting. It means that the pillagers know what the stronghold is, and more than that, they're smart enough to realize that this specific portal room holds some kind of significance because they've built it. I'm gonna kill this sheep really quick. Get out of here. Okay. So the pillagers are smart enough to know this specific room has some kind of significance to it. So they probably use this room to, you know, as kind of training for their search parties to go out and try to find strongholds. And I'm guessing that they probably have tried putting a lot of things in the end portal frames, which I replicated here using flower pots. But, you know, they don't know what the nether is, so they don't have blaze rods. So they're not able to activate the end portal. So they're just trying to put, like, whatever they can in here to try to get this portal to activate. So what I did here is I tried to upgrade this room, make it look like more like the actual portal room from the stronghold. So I added the lava pits on the sides here using this orange wool. And added a chest back here with some ender pearls in it, which are in the actual chests. So that means that the pillagers know half the solution. They know ender pearls have something to do with the portal room. So yeah, I just tried to upgrade this, added some bars to try to kind of emulate how the bars work in the actual portal room. So I tried to make it look more realistic. Yeah, this is definitely a very interesting room. It has a lot of lore implications in the game for sure. So that's actually all the rooms that I found and wanted to renovate. So thank you all for watching. This was another really fun project. I'm glad I was able to find a bunch of mansions and find almost all the rooms that I wanted to renovate, which is pretty cool. So I don't know, I might do another structure. I might do like a pillager outpost or something like that next. Maybe a stronghold, something like that. I just like these renovation projects. I think it's pretty fun to try to think about what Mojang could have done differently with the structures, how to make them kind of more realistic and fit into the lore a little better. So this is a fun project. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Peace.